Yo, I'm back with another video, and this time it's about Drake, Drizzy Drake. And this time I'm talking about how Drake's views aren't what they seem. Yeah, Drake's a great artist, but his view count seems a bit sketchy. So Spotify sued over billions of fraudulent Drake streams, alleging that a substantial portion of his 37 billion streams were generated by bots. That's crazy. Here's my view on things. The music industry has always been dodgy. It's always been sketchy. I remember there's certain artists that I love and certain artists I don't like, and I remember this seeing certain artists just propelled their view counts on videos just propelled. I'm like, huh? But even before streaming, the music industry had ways of making sure artists that they want to sell. Because I remember when, let's say this was late 90s, there was no streaming, but there was downloads and everything. But hear me out. It used to be a thing where they used to ship albums to stores. And the way they had it is that the amount they shipped counted as the amount sold. I know it sounds stupid, right? Because you can ship 40,000, let's say, Method Man albums. I'm just putting him as an example. I have no beef with Method Man. So 40,000 Method Man albums shipped by Def Jam. Door. And that's what they used to do back in the days. That's how they used to get artists' albums out there. Like when people actually bought albums, right? Before the internet came in, where you could have select certain amount of songs that you wanted to hear. Because I'll be honest with you, certain rappers or artists out there, the albums were garbage. They had like maybe 3 hits on there to sell you the album. When you when you actually listen to the whole album, they'll be like, "Yeah, this is a bunch of fluff in here, man." The real hard hitting songs were the singles. The album got a couple of songs on there that are just terrible, and I felt that way with a couple of albums out there where not every time you listen to the album you think, yeah, all these songs are hard hitting. You just felt like sometimes you feel ripped off or conned into the album. And that's why I try to avoid those type of artists where they use the singles to con you into buying the album full of fluff songs, where like half-baked songs, not really thought out. And you think to yourself like, these songs are garbage. I paid £12 for this, you know. But now we're in the era of streaming. And I thought to myself, like, I knew Drake was big. I see YouTube views going on 1 billion. I know Drake's big, but he can't be that big. I mean, I know academics are shouting his name out for the rooftops right now, like, it's all lies. Drake's the best. Drake. Sitting down there with his Ozempic burgers. I'm messing around with that. He doesn't even know I'm making these videos anyway. I'm nobody. And yeah, I thought to myself, like, Drake couldn't be that big. I've seen like 37 billion views. And it makes you wonder, like, if Drake's faking the views, and Spotify is faking the views for Drake, how many of the other artists, because he's the biggest, right? So other artists trying to compete with him must be faking their views as well. Because you think it's like a maze of matrix of fakeness. And right now, they're saying that there's like in the top 40, there's no hip hop music anymore. Hip hop music's boring to me now. I thought I was getting old. You know, when you reach a certain age, you think to yourself like, man, I'm getting old. I don't even listen to hip hop no more. But it turns out other people are sick of the same garbage that's coming out of hip hop these days, man. It used to have a message. Some of it right now it's demonic nonsense. Like, there's always some sort of like, there was like, how can I put it? It's really fake. And then you got artists like acting and dressing gay, like putting on skirts and stuff. It's always something like that going on with these artists these days. They start off like a normal hood artist. Before you know it, once they get a bit of money, they're wearing dresses. I'm like, what's going on? What is going on with the music industry these days? And I'm gonna point out something that happened years ago. Like, here's another article. Billions of views culled from YouTube after it was discovered they were faked by the music industry. This is 2012. The YouTube crackdown on alleged fake views seen by major record companies being stripped of more than 2 billion views. Go to show, man. Go to show, man. These things have been going on for a long time. Let's see. Home of Alicia Keys' Labyrinth and Rita Ora, Sony, which has close ties with X Factor mogul Simon Cowell, lost more than 850 million views as part of the crackdown, with over 4 billion hours of video watched via YouTube each day. The cuts will be damaging to labels, as the videos player is considered to be the most premium outlet on the website. This is where, they start to realize that people don't watch MTV for music videos anymore. They watch YouTube. But here's the thing: they no longer can control the system or the networks like MTV. They could just tell the MTV to play a certain artist all the time. You think that artist is popping. The new metric now is to have their views go to 1 billion plus, and that shows you yeah, they're a big artist. And then the metric for someone like Drake, they need to get 87 billion views. Or how much did they say he got sold? 37 billion views. That's the metric. And you know something? I think Snoop Dogg said he got maybe, I can't remember, something about a certain billion views, and he got paid peanuts for it. And that's the way the world's working. They're making you work harder for less. I do YouTube full time, and I can't support myself, man. I can barely put food on the table these days. Man, I'm starving. You want to know why? Because they push in the agenda of shorts. And shorts, yeah, you get loads of views for shorts, but they pay you peanuts for it. I had one time I had gotten 61 million views. And I'm sitting rubbing my hand together oh yeah, we can get some big money here. This is not old YouTube. This is new YouTube. This is slave labor YouTube. 61 million views was £2,000. I mean, one person said they got 100 million views. I thought I was getting robbed. One person said, I got 100 million views. They said, how much did you pay? They said $4,000. I was like, that's a lot of views. 100 million? You get $4,000? Bloody hell, man. And this is what they're doing with the streaming views, man. The people ain't getting paid anything. I know I kind of babbled on, kind of diverted away. Let's see what they're saying in the comment section. I remember a few years ago, people were complaining that Drake would be recommended to them regardless of what genre of music they were listening to. The algorithm must be doing this because of the amount of streams it was perceiving. That is weird. Yeah, we're seeing something where now we're starting to see. No, what else is the problem? I'm gonna tell you another thing that is a problem. See, when Drake went up against Universal, it opened a Pandora's box of them prying into these type of situations, where he's like, oh, they helped Kendrick out. That's why I lost the battle. They made him look like he won. They made Not Like Us seem like it was a better song than my song. So Drake's own, when he just can't take that he lost. Like a crybaby. Because he's a crybaby, he's like, well, if I'm losing, I'm gonna open the box and what everybody's been doing, what they've been doing for me. I'm gonna show them all what's been going on behind the scenes. They're making bots. They're called Ken bots, and they were blowing up his views. That's what Drake was trying to say what was going on. That's why I lost. I never lost because my songs were terrible or that was a catchy song. I lost because the record company wanted to devalue me. They were putting bots on him. And this is where we are now today. Where they're looking into something like, so wait a minute, if all those years ago they were helping you out like that, that means 37 billion views of yours, they couldn't be 100% real, right? Right? And this is where we're seeing where now we're looking at at Drake, and we're realizing that the chinks in the armors are starting to crack. The mirage is there. We start to see through the mirage. What they're putting in front of us with every single artist out there. The internet is starting to chip away at the facade of an artist, and I think these record companies hate it. They hate people like maybe like academics and other people out there that's exposing, even Russ, because Russ he's out of the system now, and he was telling everyone how they worked. It's a machine behind the artist. When the artist blows up, the machine makes them look bigger than they are. And even when you're a small artist, you can't really survive being a small artist because you don't have the machine behind you unless you have drug money to push yourself forward. Because they're pumping in millions, and the only way you can compete with them is to put millions in. So when you see an independent artist do very well, that means they're combating the fakery as well with their own fakery, because they're all at it. You gotta spend that money to compete with the bigger artists. You can't be some random nobody and just blow up. And that's what these companies want you to believe. Oh yeah, he just blew up. No. They pay influencers and all sorts to make it look like someone naturally blew up, but they are industry plants. That's how it works. So let's see what's going on here. I'm gonna read some of the comments. Josh Johnson talked about something like this in one of his specials. The unfortunate thing is that Kanye is one of the people who pointed it out, and that's who he's quoting. He's saying something along the lines of, I'm paraphrasing here, but I'm putting in quotes to separate it from the rest of the reply. There are artists out there who are trying to reach you with their music, but they can't because the music industry wants you to listen to certain artists. And they have ways of making the artists they want you to listen to unavoidable. Again, it's unfortunate who Josh Johnson is quoting, but I can see what he's talking about. Even before streaming, I used to tell people that you really had to dig for good music and artists you might want to hear. And that's the truth, really, man. That's why, you got like SoundCloud. And those are like the real artists. That's why those guys blew up, because those are authentic artists. That's why people love the SoundCloud era, because it's where you can blow up with an actual real fan base, and then you feel like you discovered something like, wow, I've discovered this real artist out here. And then they start to infiltrate the SoundCloud rappers and try to plant fake SoundCloud rappers, fake rappers in the SoundCloud system. And then people start to realize that this is not really authentic as it used to be, but it's what it is, man. It's a shame that Spotify is gradually turning back into that, but I kind of scans with the way other streaming services are bundling ads and trying to turn themselves back into cable networks they killed. MySpace was actually a pretty good platform to find obscure artists. One thing I really missed about it, I hate MySpace. It came to a point where MySpace used to be like a Facebook. You had your pictures up there, then everybody had a MySpace. Everyone and their grandma had a MySpace page. And the problem is that it came a point where someone would add you, and then they would just shove their music down your throat, like, listen to this music. And I was like, something, I'm out of here. Because they had people that did blow up from the MySpace era. I think Maya did. So, people out there did blow up back then. Hell, the stranglehold the BBC used to have over British Airways, the only way to legally listen to music, you didn't go out and buy yourself, was listening to what the BBC wanted you to hear. I don't know what that's all about. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where that's why people had pirate radio. Because I said I don't know about now, I kind of think about, yeah. It's like they only play what the record companies paid them to play. And the real music from the underground was on the pirate radio stations. And it goes back, it's like this now. It's like they're trying to control the system of what you're hearing. And it's sad that these things go on, but that's life really, man. Every which way they're trying to manipulate you as a human being, manipulate your tastes, what you see, what you hear. And now, it's come to a point where they got AI involved. So they're training AI to on your habits, your viewing habits. Like I'm on YouTube and I have AI recommending me things. It's just everything's an algorithm, and even when you're shopping online, it's an algorithm. You look at one thing and say, oh, you might like this, or you listen to some music, oh, you might like this artist. Everything's an algorithm, and it's come to a point. It's kind of like this takes away your freedom and choice, which is sad, but that's life these days. You know, sooner or later we're all gonna be robots. Anyway, I'm out, man. I kind of babbled on a bit, but I'm out. On to the next video.